to Women in Wellness, a program to help you create gorgeous growth for your blissful business in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Gabby, holistic health expert and founder of Women in Wellness, a one-of-a-kind course and community designed to empower and inform you about how to build a purposeful and profitable holistic business. I'm so excited for today's interview. I've invited a terrific guest, Carolyn Cooper. Carolyn is founder and CEO of Simply Healed, a unique energy healing modality that helps with everything from finances to relationships to infertility. In her private and group sessions, she helps entrepreneurs to release fear, resentment, and judgment about money and success to propel their business forward and increase their income and joy. She also trains and certifies practitioners across Australia and the US. Welcome, Carolyn. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and I want to dive right into Simply Healed. So what was it that inspired you to create this program and certification, and how did all of that unfold?
Oh, good question. And it just naturally went one step at a time. It's a strange thing. And I was raised in the 60s and 70s. My dad was a chiropractor in a small town. And so we were kind of the edgy people, you know, the all natural.
The weird people, maybe?
But I think we were well loved, but yeah, we did things not the same as everyone else. And I like that. I always like being, you know, doing something a little bit different. So I was always just very open to, alternative. I hate to even use that word, alternative medicine, because it's like, well, that shouldn't be an alternative. That's the natural way of healing. So I've always been open to that. I always understood that our minds and bodies are so connected, and that our thoughts have such an impact on the way our physical bodies respond. And I was blessed to have a dad that taught me that. You know, he was kind of ahead of his time, I think. So I grew up knowing that, just thinking everyone knows that, but no, not everyone does.
No, my dad was a neurologist. My dad did not know about the mind-body connection. So
yeah, so we come from different worlds, I guess. But I read every self-help book, personal development book. I'm a people person, and I'm fascinated by all of that type of things. And I kept feeling like there's some way to help people. I remember in 8th grade, being with a group of friends, and somebody was sick and couldn't be with us that night. And I said, oh, we should just go heal her. We should go make her better. And all my friends kind of looked at me like, you're so weird. Like one of them, who's a nurse now, actually said that to me. You're so weird. You're always saying weird things like that. And I'm like, no, I think we could do it. Like, we all love her. Can't we all just go in there and raise her up with?
That's such like a beautiful openness that you had, like such an optimism.
Well, people thought I was weird, but who's laughing now? I've made a career out of it. So how I really found someone who did energy healing, I'd heard a little bit of it, but we didn't even have a computer. This is when I was early married, and computers were just coming out. That's, you know, I'm older. And so one of my friends was struggling with a chronic illness for a long time, and she suddenly started getting better, feeling better, getting out more. And I said, hey, what's going on with you? And she hesitantly said, well, I've been going to a lady who does energy healing.
Like a secret.
Yeah. And I was like, what? Who is it? Where does she live? I'm there. So yeah, so I met her and a couple other people and started learning things. And then I just started working on friends and family, and just had remarkable results, and things would come to me. And I've always been a very visual person. I didn't know that was a gift. I just thought everybody sees the world like that, because you don't know any different. And so I'd be working on people, and I'd see kind of, and I'm goofy, I see cartoon pictures that will tell me things that are going on with people. And so I'd see things in my head, and I think for the first couple of years, I kind of poo-pooed that. I mean, I would use it because it would help guide me when I did a session with people, but at the same time, I thought, oh, that's so silly. Why do I see things like that? And I think one day God just said to me, that's your gift.
Just take it. I'm giving you a gift.
And then after that, I started implementing it more and realizing, oh, so when I see a picture in my head, when I'm working on a woman and I see a picture of her walking and bubble gum stuck from her shoe to the pavement and her not being able to move, that's showing me in a cartoon picture, she's stuck. Help her move the bubble gum. So that's what I mean when I say they're kind of funny cartoon pictures. So I didn't trust them at first. And I think from teaching thousands of people, there are a lot of people like that have gifts that don't realize that is a help for them.
That's amazing. And then you realized that you had these gifts and you're practicing on family and friends. And then how did you transition from that to doing it as a career and certifying other people to do it? How did that happen?
Oh, that's such a fun journey. Well, I started charging money. I started charging like $35 or something. So I started charging a little bit of money. And during all of this time that I was learning this, I was a fitness instructor, a certified fitness instructor for about 20 years. And I also taught Tai Chi classes. So I taught at one of the top spas in the country, which is near where I live. And one day my boss said to me, hey, Carolyn, that energy stuff you do, why don't you do that out here at the destination spa? And I said, yeah, why don't I? And so they hooked me up. So every Wednesday night, and I love talking about what I do. So every Wednesday night I would do it. They called it infotainment. I would do like a lecture on Energy Healing 101. And most of the people, this was 10, 15 years ago, I could have an audience of 60 people and I'd say, how many have ever heard of energy healing, and get 3 hands? Like people just weren't familiar with it at that time. And so it was so much fun for me to talk and tell them about it and tell them that we inherit things from our ancestors. And sometimes some of the blocks we have aren't even ours and they're stuck in the energy and we can release those easily. And, it was just, and then they would sign up with the concierge. I had a cool little office out there. I'd go out a couple days a week and they would come to my office for, hour sessions, and then they'd go back home wherever across the country they live, tell their friends, oh my gosh, there's a lady that does something with your energy. And then
I don't know what it is, but she's doing something.
Yeah, I could do it over phone or Skype. And so I built my clientele really quickly that way, because they'd go be my evangelist for me, spread the news. And and then people started asking me, can you teach me that? Can you teach me that? And I honestly did not know if I could teach. I didn't know if it was my gift or if I was supposed to teach it, or what if I set up a class and people pay for it and they don't get it? And how do I articulate what I do and put it into a manual that people can understand when it's so swirly for me? It's so etherical.
Right.
But I did. I and people signed up and paid, and I didn't even have my manual written yet. So I told my husband, I'm doing this class in 2 weeks. I have got to get this manual written. Take the kids, go, because we have 5 kids. I think we had 4 at the time. Take the kids, go. And I sat down at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning and just typed. It just came out from my heart, from what I know I do up here and what my heart knows how to do. I just started typing, and out came the manual.
Wow.
By midnight. It took me all day long. And that manual has been refined a bit, but that's still 12 years later, 13 years almost, the manual I'm using today, and with hundreds of certified practitioners. It's like, how did that happen?
Wow.
I just and went for it.
That's so exciting. And so, what would you say is the driving mission then of what you're doing? Is it that you want to spread the awareness about energy medicine, or you want to create more healing in the world? What is the mission of your work?
Oh, I'm a simple girl. I'm a simple girl. I just want to heal the world. That's all. Here's my thing. I have a hard time when I see people struggling, and I think, oh, there's help for that. Do they not know there's help for that? I just want people to have joy. Like I have this weird desire that I want people to have a happy life.
Yeah, that's so strange to want people to be happy.
Well, and it's like, it's easier than people think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's really what drives me. And even several months ago, I went to a business networking thing. It was nothing to do about energy healing. It was all business. And sometimes my husband reminds me, that's just in your world. Sometimes I get in my world of, oh, everyone and their mother is an energy healer now. And, you know, it used to be fun when I was the only shop in town, and now everyone does it, which is actually has a lot of pros to it also, because people understand and get it. But my husband will say, that's just in your world. There's a whole wide world out there of people who have no idea. And so I go to this business conference several months ago. And as I was sitting there for 3 days, different people would get up to the microphone and say their struggles in their business. And some of them would cry. And I was in the audience going, oh, I could help you with that. You know, I'm not one of those people that is arrogant enough to think I'm going to run up them to on a break and say, I can fix that. You know, I don't do that. And I'm not judging. I just see things they're struggling with that I've struggled with, that I understand their pain. I understand that. And it really made me see, oh, there is such a need. There is such a need to bring that awareness to people who are struggling. Yeah.
And you and I met because you were trying to move this conversation forward, right? You were interviewing people and learning about how to overcome some of these business obstacles and money obstacles. Is that where it came from, going and interacting with business people and seeing the need there?
Yes. And not just business people. Well, now it's an interesting world we live in now, because there's the internet. And so many people are leaving other jobs and following their heart. I've always said, wouldn't it be great if everyone did what their heart desired?
Yes. Yes.
Well, maybe we wouldn't have any garbage men or anything, but then I think, yeah, maybe we would, because there are people who there are people who would enjoy certain kind of jobs because they know they are of service and they're really helping people. But nowadays, more and more people are following their heart and are hearing the call and listening for it and realizing that they do have the capability to make a difference. It's great. So that's why I interviewed you for my summit. And you did a great interview, because this is your life. This is what you do also, is bring that awareness to people. So yeah, it's just getting the word out. I don't work only with business people. I love like working with moms, school teachers, hairdressers,
Right.
whatever. People are people. I don't care what job they're in. So everybody has childhood stuff. I don't care how great your parents were. Everybody's got something. And we all had times when we were embarrassed or humiliated or, and we all have generational issues. We all have ancestors, and, we're all in this big university of life together. So we're just learning and growing. Yeah.
Are there some common things that you see when you are advising or working with holistic practitioners, like the people that would be tuning into this, the health coaches, the yoga teachers? Like, are there any common things that you see when you're working with them?
Oh, yes.
Can you share them with us?
Yeah, and it's the whole thing. And I've gone through phases where I struggled with this a little bit too. It's like the starving artist syndrome. It's well, I do healing work. It's sacred to me. It's a spiritual thing. And I think a lot of them get past the thing of the worry about charging, but then there's also the added dimension of, oh, but now I fear the judgment of other people judging me because I'm charging for a spiritual thing. So there's that kind of thing to work through sometimes. I don't know, maybe you notice that with people also.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Is there any tips or advice that you give to them to break through that block, or things that you maybe did for yourself that help you get through that?
Yeah, should I be super personal?
If you want to.
Well, I had a monster under my bed that I wasn't aware of. And then once I cleared that, it was, oh, I still had that. I'm the healing lady, and I was still carrying that. It was just niggling underneath, because I'd cleared lots of money issues when I first got started in doing energy healing. It's fun to find things and move them out of the way. But yeah, I had a belief that I know God is very abundant, and I know he wants us to be joyful and abundant. But at the same time, I had this counter belief of, yeah, but if I'm pushing it too much, or being too worldly, or too salesy, or things like that, then that's not right. That's not a good thing to do. And I am a steward over this work. It's sacred work to me. And I feel like this is my stewardship, and I need to be, be very humble with my gifts and share them in the best way with the world. So I think the dark side kind of gets in there, and our limiting beliefs and things, and, will tell us things like, well, you shouldn't go out and do a bunch of sales then, or, you shouldn't be out there on webinars.
It's like sales shame or something. What is that?
Like, oh my gosh. And as soon as I cleared that, my energy like went, oh yes, okay. Because I was finally congruent with, because my thoughts knew that was crazy. But when I dug that monster out and went, what is holding me back? What is the problem? When I found that, it looked ridiculous in the light of day. You know, when you actually get to the root of what's the problem here. But I have been really successful. So it surprised me after several years to find that, because I'm like, well, I have been really successful. I still have blocks. Yeah, we all still get them.
Yeah, my mentors always described it as sort of peeling the onion, right? You kind of get through some blocks, and then there's some more, and then you get through them, and then there's some more. And that's just the ever unfolding process of becoming lighter and becoming more self-aware as you're on the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a weird sort of way, I always think, oh, that's good. That's good for me, because now I can relate to people, because I see that all the time with other people, and it helps me go, oh yeah, I'm still finding blocks along the way as much as, because new things come along every day, new obstacle, new level, new devil,
New level, new devil. That's the first time I heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every time I up level, there are other limiting beliefs that it's like, oh yeah, I haven't been on this step yet. I haven't cleared the way. I haven't turned on the light on this level yet. And I think that's not going to be there anymore. And then sometimes it is.
Wow. And I think that's really reassuring for the younger people to hear, because I think sometimes when you're just getting started out, you think like, if you're facing resistance, if you're facing limiting beliefs, all this stuff, like you can get really discouraged. Oh, maybe it's not the right path, or it's too hard. But like to hear from people that have been doing it for a long time, like, no, you're going to be fearful, you're going to face challenges, you're going to uncover these things, but you just keep going. You find the support, you find the resources, you do the work on yourself, and you just keep moving forward. And eventually you're going to get to a better place. It's like a process.
Yes. Yeah. It's a process. This is how I see it, because I see everything in pictures.
Yeah.
I see it like birds in the sky. If you watch birds fly, I walked out of a building one day. I was kind of struggling with some things in my head, some decisions I had to make. And I walked out of a building and I looked up, and there were these two huge birds close. I mean, they were flying low. And to me, I went, oh, that's a message for me. What? Tell me. Let me watch, let me learn. And I watched, and they would flap, 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 just flap their wings really hard. And then they would soar. Oh, I was forgetting the soar part. Business goes up and down, and sometimes you just have to flap, 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 because you're going uphill, and then you get to relax and soar and just ride on that wind for a little bit before you have to start flapping again. And that's one thing I would say to new people starting out, or people who have done it for a long time, is self-care is really important, because starting a business, even if you're all lovey-dovey and in the holistic health field and helping people with wellness and you're really self-aware, it's not really for the faint of heart. I mean,
No, it's a warrior's path.
Yeah, so remember to flap and soar.
Flap and soar. I love that. So if people want to find you to learn more about Simply Healed or do your certification, how can they do that?
The best way is just simplyhealed.com.
Yay, simplyhealed.com. So everybody go and find Carolyn at simplyhealed.com. And we're so grateful that you were here with us today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. If your guests want a free gift, they can go to simplyhealed.com/welcome.
Okay.
I have an ebook there, and it just tells a little bit more about Simply Healed and what I do, and how it can help them.
Perfect. So go to simplyhealed.com/welcome and find your free gift.
Yep.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can join the Women in Wellness Club at women-in-wellness.com.